Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Hello, and welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. Question: if you eat foods that are high in fat, will you get fat? This is a question that I get all of the time. Sometimes I don't even get asked the question, but someone will just be talking, and the way they're talking, it makes me feel like that's what they think happens. When we eat fat, it doesn't automatically turn to fat. Anything in excess needs to get stored in some way. So if we're consuming too many calories is a unit for energy, and we're taking in too many calories than our body's actually expending or burning or using, then that's what turns to fat. So too much fat, too much carbs, too much protein, that is how we get excess fat in the body. Consuming foods that have fat do not automatically make you fat. If we eat too much of those foods, then there is a potential for our bodies to store fat. Now, the reason why it got this reputation of fat makes you fat is because for every gram of fat, it's equivalent to 9 calories versus carbs and protein. For every gram of carb or every gram of protein, it's equivalent to 4 calories. Meaning fat is more calorically dense. It's easier to overconsume. That's why, although I encourage people to eat healthy fats like avocado and nuts and seeds, the portions we need to be mindful of our portions because of the fact they're easy to overdo. A handful of nuts, if we don't measure properly, could be 400 to 500 calories versus a quarter cup of nuts is usually around 200 calories. So it's very easy to kind of overdo it. Now, this is really more of a concern if you are trying to lose weight and you're not being able to lose the weight. I always encourage and I tell people to go whole foods first. So first start to transition, eat more things like nuts and seeds and avocado and use olive oil instead of butter and kind of transition that way. And then naturally what should happen is because those foods have a lot of fiber, particularly the nuts, the beans, the seeds, avocado, anything that kind of comes from the plant that's in food form, it's going to have dietary fiber, and dietary fiber is what makes you feel full. And I mean, there's also a ton of other benefits for the heart that are involved in those unsaturated heart healthy fats. But the point of choosing whole foods first is because that fiber will make you feel full, and then naturally it'll help cut your cravings, and then you'll probably consume less throughout the day. Versus having all of your fat from, say, ice cream, where there's no fiber, it's very calorically dense, there's a lot of sugar, it's saturated fat, it's really not benefiting the body in other way other than exciting your taste buds. So that's where you'll be hungry like 20 minutes later. So you could have the same amount of calories from ice cream as you could from like a handful of nuts, but the nutritional benefits, the way it plays a role in your body, the way it affects your cravings, and the way you go about eating the rest of your day will be completely different if you switch from something like getting your fat from ice cream versus, maybe nuts for a snack. So that's really it. I just hope that you're aware that fat does not make you fat. However, we do need to be mindful of our portions and make sure we're getting a variety of different fats in our diet. If you have any other questions, send me a message to tipswithtony@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram at tips_with_Tony. I have a Facebook page. Join our healthy lifestyle support group. I go do live videos almost every single day in there about how you can stay on track with your health and wellness goals. Thank you so much for listening to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.